Well, every Thursday, duh, and he was a character in her dad's graphic novel. And now, and into once again. So, this one is, let's get into it. Hi everybody, it's Audrey and welcome to BookList Thursday on Chapter and Converse. I'm so excited to be uttering that phrase again. So I am so excited to be working with Invited Back to the Party with Sarah and Lindsay for their BookList Thursday 5-star predictions. So Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library had invited me to the party the first time last year, and to quote a very obvious quote, it was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So I'm really excited to be hanging out with my friends again this year and doing a 5-star prediction. And we are doing thrifted books is the theme this time around. So it is a book that you either got online thrifting, in-person thrifting, it can be library sales, it can be free little libraries, just anything you have that isn't brand new, purchase new, that kind of a thing. So thrifted, it's basically what it is. So if you guys have been here for a hot minute, you know I am newer to the thrifted game in that there is not a lot of thrift store opportunities near me. So I've done some library sales, but I more recently got turned on to thrift books and Better World books and online thrifting, and went on a bit of an insane rage mid-late last year, which never really quite turned off. So I had quite a few books to pick from, and if you guys have also been here for more than a minute, you know that the general idea of creating any kind of TBR kind of gives me hives, but I also enjoy a project. So for me, the hardest thing is always narrowing it down. But I think I did a good job narrowing it down. There's a little bit of a leap of faith happening here with some of these books, but I'm also feeling pretty good about it. So I've been sitting on this for about a week now, and this is what I'm going with, so I'm committing to it. Let's get into it. So before we dive into my predictions, if for some reason you're like, what is this BookList Thursday that you speak of, Audrey? So BookList Thursday is something that Sarah and Lindsay do every Thursday on their channels, and they talk about some sort of bookish related topic. So sometimes they are giving you book recommendations, sometimes they're spotlighting authors. They've done like books inspired by different coffee drinks, like anything bookish related. Long story short, if you're here because of me or you're here because of them, then you know we are all book lovers, and anything and everything we can do to talk about books and any connection we can make between books and life and books and recommendations, we're here for it and we're doing it. So if you haven't checked them out, all their stuff is down below, and let's get on with my predictions for 5-star books. So the first book I picked is what I feel like is my sure thing, and it's The Mist by Ragnar Jonason. So this is the third and final book in the Holda series. I have been both chomping at the bit to read this, but also waiting because I'm trying to savor the fact that this is the last book in the series, and I'm not quite ready for it to come to an end, but I also want to know how it's going to come to an end. So I'm not going to say too much about it because it is book 3, but this is a series set in Iceland, and we follow a detective, Holda, and in the first book, we meet her on a case. I legit don't want to say anything else about it because I went into this series pretty 100% blind, to the point that what isn't a giveaway, but what I didn't know going in, is this is a series that's told in reverse. So we meet Holda more established in her career in book number 1 in the series. So by the time we get to The Mist, it's earlier on in her career, but we do see events, you know, that happened later or happened earlier in her career and how things are referenced, and it's not doing a great job describing it, but basically I'm super excited for this book, and I'm totally in that like, want to know how it ends, don't want it to end, but need to know how it's going to end. So that's book number 1. The second book I picked, I actually just talked about in the April Showers tag that I did, and this is The Weight of Lies by Emily Carpenter. So this gave me some Home Before Dark Riley Sager vibes, in that we have a book about a child of a famous novelist who became famous because of a specific book they wrote, and the adult child is now looking into the circumstances behind that story. So in this one, we have reformed party girl Meg Ashley leads a life of privilege, thanks to the best-selling horror novel her mother wrote decades ago. But Meg knows that the glow of their very public life hides a darker reality of lies, manipulation, and the heartbreak of her own solitary childhood. Desperate to break free of her mother, Meg accepts a proposal to write a scandalous tell-all memoir. So as part of this memoir that she's writing, she has to dig into this cult classic horror book that her mom wrote, and she starts to look into who inspired that book and what inspired that book. So she winds up going to Bonny Island in Georgia, and it says, at first, island life seems idyllic. But as Meg starts to ask tough questions, disturbing revelations come to light, including some about her mother. Soon, Meg's search leads her to question the facts of a decades-old murder. She's warned to leave it alone, but as the lies pile up, Meg knows she's getting closer to finding a murderer. And when her own life is threatened, she realizes the darkness found in her mother's book is nothing compared to the chilling truth that lurks off the page. So this just sounds so twisted and dark and messed up, and I love it. And I love the idea of, it appears there's a book within a book in here. I don't know too much about it, but just like a quick one of them. I see that it looks like there's a book within a book, or there's something within a book going on in here, which is what Home Before Dark has, which is what Magpie Murders has. And I love that as a feature or as a storytelling device. And I love the, you know, just sort of looking into your parents and the mysteries and the secrets and the things that you find. And of course, I love kind of some amateur detecting and getting yourself into trouble, because that's kind of the fun of it all. But I haven't heard too many people talk about this book, and I'm just super interested in it. So based on the fact that Home Before Dark and Magpie Murders are 5-star books for me, which have nothing to do with this book other than the book within the book concept, I'm, again, just optimistic it's going to be 5. And then the last book I have is based on / inspired by a true crime story, and this is Mr. Tender's Girls by Carter Wilson. So this book is inspired by the Slender Man case, which was this true crime story from, I want to say like 2014, and it was these two 12-year-old girls who brought a third girl into the woods and stabbed her nearly to death. The girl winds up surviving in the true crime story of it, and they said that they were told to do this by the Slender Man, who was sort of this made up, I feel like he was like on the internet or something, and like they were told if they didn't kill this girl, the Slender Man was going to kill their family, so they were forced to do it. And crazy, that's the true crime. In this book, very similarly, we have a woman named Alice, and when she was 14, she was brutally attacked by 2 of her classmates when she was living in England. So here we fast forward, it's over a decade later, and she has changed her name, and she's now living in Manchester, New Hampshire, which, sidebar, I have good friends who are from Manch, and I just love when real life and books kind of tie together. So I know some people from Manch Vegas. And in this book, she is, again, changed her name, trying to move on with her life, trying to start fresh. But in this book, Mr. Tender is actually a character in a graphic novel that her father wrote when she was younger. And she winds up getting, I want to say, something in the mail that has a note from her father, but her father's been dead for a few years. But it has pictures and evidence of what happened to her when she was younger. So somebody has figured out who she is and is interested in what's going on with her. Very twisted. Also kind of like similar with like the parent who wrote the famous book that's inspiring some stuff going on here. So it says, this stranger who is watching her knows more about Alice than any stranger could. Her scars, her fears, and the secret she keeps locked away. She can try to escape her past, but Mr. Tender is never far behind. He will come with a smile that seduces and a dark whisper in her ear. Oh, the chills in the best way possible. So I am really excited about this one too. And again, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, but I think I 1000% like missed the boat on this. This is from 2018, but I'm calling it, you guys. I'm saying 5 stars. So those are my 3. Wish me luck. I hope I did good. I feel like it's a leap of faith because I've never read Emily Carpenter or Carter Wilson before, but again, have heard great things. So, and they're like really kind of dark and messed up and up my alley, so I'm here for it. But if you have not checked out Sarah and Lindsay's channels, like I said before, all their stuff is linked down below, so you can go hop over to their channels. And if you are here because of them, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking me out and spending part of your day with me. And then we will be back, I want to say like last Thursday in June, first Thursday in July. Don't totally quote me because I'm not sure where those days land as far as like 4th of July and stuff goes, but we'll be back in 2 months with our wrap up to let you know if the books that we picked are in fact 5-star predictions. So wait for that. But in between, more videos are coming. So I will see you guys in one of those videos. Take care, everybody. Bye.